Modeling is the most traditional of the sculpting processes. Artists who work with modeling traditionally use pliable materials such as clay or wax, although Play-Doh and silly putty are certainly modeling media as well. Modeling is referred to as an additive process because more material can always be added on through the sculpting process. The material can be built up, removed, and pushed into its final form. Because modeling media are so soft, evidence of tools used or even the artist's fingerprints are often visible on the finished surface. To continue working with a clay object, the media must remain moist. Artists will often wet and cover the object to maintain its workability. Once the artist has finished working with the clay object, it is allowed to dry completely. Dried clay is still very fragile though, and it must be heated to reinforce its structural strength. To ensure this strength, clay objects are put in large ovens called kilns that heat at very high temperatures. The fired clay that comes out of the kiln is called ceramics, and that's why anyone who works with fired clay is referred to as a ceramicist. When a soft material like clay is modeled to form large sculptures, the piece can often be created in smaller individual segments that are then combined separately after firing. This life-size ceramic sculpture was buried in the tomb of the first emperor of China, Shi Huangti, in the 3rd century BCE. This literal army of life-size terracotta soldiers were buried with the emperor to protect him in death. The estimated 8,800 individually modeled figures include those of warriors, chariots, horses, officials, acrobats, strongmen, and musicians. That's quite an entourage, not to mention the hundreds of ceramicists who it must have taken to create this impressive memorial. One amazing fact is that the site of the tomb, which had essentially been forgotten to history, was discovered by local Chinese farmers in 1974. Since then, archaeologists have been painstakingly excavating the site. Before firing, ceramics can be coated in different colored paints that are called glazes. The glazes are made to withstand the high temperature of the kiln, and they help to seal and protect the surface of the fired clay. The contemporary American artist Jeff Koons has produced many ceramic sculptures, most notably this life-sized porcelain rendition of the late pop star Michael Jackson and his pet chimpanzee Bubbles. The glaze used on this piece is pigmented by actual gold leaf. This opulent homage to the King of Pop holds the distinction of being one of the world's largest single porcelain structures.